Okay, yeah. So let's get into that era because even too, I remember you still close with DJ Fresh, and y'all would always be together at the parties, and you would be with them and just doing stuff all the time. Tell me, before we get into that, how did you link up with DJ Fresh?
People don't know this either. That's what's so crazy. But Fresh tells this story all the time. Shout out to Fresh. Me and Eddie met Fresh at UK. I always get it mixed up. I know we had went to a Drake concert, and I know we had went to something else out there at UK, but I feel like it was the weekend of the Drake concert. You know, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, all them. Make a long story short, we got out there. Me and Eddie had went up there with some girls that had went to our school, but they knew a girl from UK. Fresh knew the girl from UK. So it was 3 girls and it's me and Eddie at first. After we left whatever game or concert we was at, it's a nigga walking behind me and Eddie pulling some type of bag, and it's loud as hell. So, you know, we not annoyed it or nothing like that, but we kind of, who is this nigga, but whatever. We get to the car, the nigga get in the car with us. So we like, who is this nigga getting in the car with us, so to speak? More so Ed than me. You know, I'm more inviting, cool, like, oh, what's up, bro? Ed, he don't really like people like that. So boom, we get to the girls' dorm room. They're in the back doing girl shit, getting dressed, changing and shit, and it's silent. We sit on the couch, it's silent. Finally, Fresh breaks the ice. He's like, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? You know how Fresh is. He's like, what's up, man? I'm DJ Fresh, and, you know, I'm a DJ. Like, what y'all do? And I was like, yo, I'm a recording artist. And right now, only thing I had was Natty Dance out. And I'm like, I'm a recording artist from Cincinnati. And I was like, this Ed Lova, he's a party promoter. Like, if not one of the biggest, you know, from the city. And he was like, oh, man, I need to get with y'all. Like, you know, he like, man, hold on. He pulled his laptop up. He played all the Cincinnati records that was out at the time. You know what I'm saying? Down the Way, Sal, Mr. Miyagi, just to show how he was hip.
Yeah.
But Ed really wasn't moved. And I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I like dude energy. Like, he's cool. So he's like, yeah, I'm DJing after party tonight. And I'm thinking it's a Drake after party because it was a really big after party. It's so long ago, I can't remember. But this dude did not look like he was DJing the party we was going to. Like, just Fresh, no, I'm gonna keep it real. That's my real friend. So he had on this sleazy t-shirt, like I'm talking about collar hanging to the side. Snapbacks had just kind of started surfacing. So he had a snapback with the snap strapped.
He was the DJ Fresh some years ago. He was in the beginning.
So I'm like, ain't no way this guy DJing where we going. But he was adamant about saying he was DJing where we was going. So we get to where we going. We all piled up in the same car, 3 girls, 3 guys. Fresh jump out. He take off. He like, man, y'all come with me. I'll get y'all in. So we walking, and I'm walking next to Eddie, and I look at Eddie, and I'm like, man, I don't want dude to get us up there, and we get embarrassed. How much you got on you? Ed, like, I got like 2 bands on me. I'm like, I got like 350. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, just spot me, and we, you know what I'm saying? But we not about to walk, because this line's still one of the longest lines I've ever seen. We get to the front of the line. Mind you, the 3 girls are still in the car, pampering themselves or whatever. Man, I never seen this a day of my life. The security guard pulled a mic out his back pocket and gave it to Fresh, and he started talking from outside the venue. And I heard the whole venue scream. And another moment, I said, we need him. So it was my idea to bring Fresh. I said, we need him. That guy is the missing link to what we're trying to do. And when we walked through the crowd, they had a song already set for him to walk in. And mind you, Fresh didn't look like money. He didn't act like money. He was just a genuinely, like,
he
cool,
was
talented dude that just had the respect of whoever was bringing him. And that's how we met, because he killed it that night. And I made it my business to get his information. And like I said, Ed had already been introduced and met and been in that social circle. So he wasn't too pressed to really develop a new relationship, but I was.
Man.
So yeah, that's how he ended up linking with us.
Man, and y'all all became like 3 amigos.
Yeah. The movement, man. I got it. I'm the only one with it tatted on me. The movement. Yeah.
So tell me about the movement. And what that meant to you and what it was.
I hated the name The Movement because it was a hashtag at the time. Everybody was hashtagging the movement. And I really like to stay away from cliches, so to speak. Not intentionally, but I just didn't want to take a hashtag and make it our name. I wanted to do something more original and organic. But they wanted to be the movement because Ed was a good little boy for so long, and Fresh was just, so to speak, an individual. So when Fresh came, you know, actually, Fresh argued with me about this, but I don't care. He was going by the name DJ ATL when I met him. He came up with the name Fresh when he got to Cincinnati, because I remember telling him Skinny Fresh had already had that name. He was like, I'm gonna be fresh. We both just gonna be fresh. And I was like, all right, go crazy. And we sat at the table and came up with the name The Movement. But The Movement was originally me, Ed, and Fresh. And it was supposed to be a triple threat like it was. I do the music, Fresh DJ, Ed promote the parties. And we did that. I still think our run was, you know, one of the dopest. Yeah,
we a good run. And with that being said, like you said, you had this playing with the pussy track as well. You end up dropping and it end up going nuts.
Crazy, yeah.
How did it end up leading you to get to the point to where you had deals on the table and meeting Flo'Rida and getting everything moving with that situation?
Okay, so by the time Playing with the Pussy came out, I had been on the Cincy scene 4 years at this time, you know, from Natty Dance. That was the gap in between Playing with the Pussy and Natty Dance. It was about 4 years. I had records in between. I had stayed super consistent.
Yeah.
You know, so I was still doing really well, and I was looked at as a staple in the city at this time as an artist, just in a different lane.
Yeah.
So when Playing with the Pussy happened, man, I heard Jeremiah's rhythm is a dancer, I need a companion, girl, I guess it must. I heard that joint and I was like, okay.
That Don't Tell Him.
Don't Tell Him. I was like, I gotta make something like that. Because at that time, you probably don't remember, at the Natty Dance, I had got labeled this bubblegum, Bow Wow, Soulja Boy rapper, which is nothing wrong with. I don't want to consider them guys bubblegum rappers. What I'm saying is I got looked at as like I made music for kids, children. And I wanted respect to, you know,
be known as.
And I wanted the rappers in the city to know that I could really, really rap. So when they started doing the Cincinnati riots and stuff like that, I honestly, now looking back, I should not have been on damn Cincinnati riot. But in my mind back then, my confidence said I should have been on Cincinnati riots just because I was an artist that was relevant at the time they came out. So I started pushing my pen crazy to where I wasn't even focused on making club music or dance music. I was more on some Wale, J. Cole, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar, Childish Gambino type stuff. So I was more making hip hop music. So when I got to making Playing with the Pussy, a little bit of me had already tried my luck in different genres. And I was just like, man, this is probably the lane I might need to tap into at this particular time. And you know who Season is, right? Season? Okay, Season used to be in a group called Them Dudes. I think I'm getting that right. So they were a young group that I had got hip to, and they loved my shit, and I loved the shit that they were doing, and they always talked about working. He's who produced the Playing with the Pussy beat.
Wow.
So yeah, I linked with Season after work one day because I still had a job, and I told him my idea. I had told him I wanted to make something similar to the Jeremiah record, and I kind of went boom, 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 and he put it in the board, boom, 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 and we kind of made it together. And I had the beat for like a week, and I wrote to the beat every single day, you know, because I was still learning and figuring out what type of style I wanted to have, and that's when it came to me. I don't know if you noticed, I noticed. And then after that, I dropped it on Instagram, and it blew up organically. Like, I didn't send it to no DJs. The snippet I dropped on Instagram was so crazy. All the DJs wanted it. Radio wanted it. All the girls was reposting it, singing to it, and that's next thing I know, we flying out to Atlantic Records. You know, they offered me a single deal with an option for a production deal, and they also offered me an opportunity to just sell them the single in general, and then to come on as a writer on the publishing side. But I didn't understand. Like, it's just as I'm running it down, I didn't understand that back then.
You know what the shit.
Hell nah. So I came home discouraged. When we came home from that Atlantic situation, I came home discouraged because I thought either they wanted to take my song or they just only wanted to give me a deal for that song. I didn't understand that both of those opportunities were still opportunities. Like, a publishing situation is great. A single deal is still great. But in my mind, I'm like, I didn't even know. I just know it didn't mean me. It's like, you're not trying to sign 3LetterzNuk. You want to sign Playing with the Pussy, or you want to take Playing with the Pussy from me. So I came home discouraged, like really discouraged. Like, man, damn, like, what am I going to do? And then I met Flo after that.
So how did you meet Flo'Rida?
Lambo Joe was really good friends with Gorilla Zoe. Now, I didn't really have a relationship with Lambo. I spoke to him in passing, but him and Ed were closer than me and him everywhere. And the story that I get, because I wasn't there, but the story that I get was that, well, I know it's true because now that me and Flo so tight, Flo is a really loyal guy. So when he travels to different cities, he only like to tap in with who he's always tapped in with, and who he's familiar with. So not really knowing anybody from Cincinnati and Gorilla Zoe having a relationship, it was ideal for Flo to tap in with whoever Gorilla Zoe was tapping in with, which happened to be Lambo. And Lambo had my mixtape in the deck. You know what I'm saying? Because we were still banging. I bought 10,000 hard copies and put them together myself and gave them out for free.
Yeah.
You know, my mixtape.
They don't know about that.
Nah.
They'll never know before Apple Music and all this and Spotify.
And I did 250,000 on SoundCloud, which I didn't know that was crazy at that time. Like, I thought that was short. I'm like, that's mild. I need to be doing millions and millions and millions. And Lambo had my mixtape in the deck. Now, I don't know if he just played my shit like subconsciously just because it was on, or if he was intentionally like, I'm about to play this nigga record for Flo. One way or another, Flo asked who I was, and Lambo was like, oh, this is my boy artist, Nuk. And I guess the day had went on, they ended up going to the mix. And, you know, my shit was in all the clubs at the time. It came on again at the mix. And I guess when he heard it that second time, he leaned over to Lambo and was like, I need to meet dude now. And then he called Ed. Ed called me. But I was kicking it somewhere. Like, doing some, you know what I'm saying? And I really wasn't, like, answering my phone and really paying Ed no attention. Because it was like, I knew we was nightlifers, so to speak. So during the day, it was Nuk time. Yeah. You know, studio time, writing time, chill time. So I really wasn't into being at all of the social, the socialites convened at, because I just was my own person and was just into my own shit. So I didn't see Eddie oftentimes till 11 p.m., 12, 1:30 in the morning type shit. So when he called me and was like, yo, Flo'Rida want to meet you, I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, but I had met everybody, you know, just hanging with Ed, J-Raj, being in the club. I met everybody. Yeah. So I thought it was just another, we're going to take some pictures, we're going to hang out, we're going to drink, we're going to party. I'm like, I'll get to them. You know, it's 6:30.
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. Ed called my phone like 10 times, dog. And who I was kicking it with was kind of like, you're not going to get that? And I was like, he'll be all right. Like, I'll get to it in a second. Like, that was me and Ed relationship. Like, it wasn't no pressure behind nothing. And when the nigga came to my crib, he had a key to my crib. So when he came in my house, I knew something was different. He came in my house, came in my room, and was just like, nigga. And
get up.
Like, let's go. So I'm like, oh, it's that type of, he like, yeah, it's that type of situation. Boom, we get down to the Cincinnati, and I think, and Lambo opened the door to the Cincinnati and like, man, what is y'all doing? He been waiting on y'all for like 3 hours. And at this time, I don't know what Flo got going on. All I knew was apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. I had no idea about Wild Ones. And
he's like going,
all the I didn't know he the biggest artist in the world. I had no fucking idea Flo'Rida was the biggest artist in the world. So we get to the elevator. We go up the elevator. Zach, which is my dog now, love you, Zach. Zach opens, when the elevator door opens, this big giant security guard is standing right there, and it's big Zach. And he walks us to the hotel room, and Gorilla Zoe's right there when the door opened. And like my heart started going because I'm a huge Gorilla Zoe fan. One of my favorite songs was She the baddest bitch in here. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was so excited to meet Gorilla Zoe. And then I sat there for like 5 minutes, and Flo came out the room, and his presence was crazy. Like, I never had really been that close to anybody with that presence without me having the information.
He was like, he's a star. You just knew.
Man, listen, like, when he walked in there, he had a glow. Like, he was like shining more than my jacket. Like, he looked like, and I'm like, whoa. And I could, if Ed felt it, we all felt it. He sat down and he just was real quick. What you got going on? And I was like, well, I just dropped a mixtape. I can't make this up. I got a single doing numbers in the city. You know, I did 250,000 on SoundCloud. He was like, well, who you been talking to? I was like, I just went out to LA, met at Atlantic Records. And I don't even know if he want me to repeat this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. He just looked at me and he said, I'm Atlantic Records' biggest artist. It ain't nothing they can do for you, I can't. And then he told me to perform right there in the hotel. So I grabbed the remote, and we hooked up to the Bluetooth speaker, and I performed my whole SoundCloud, and right there in his face. And he didn't say nothing. He got up and went in the room and came back in like 2-3 minutes and was like, when can you come to Miami? And I was like, because we were still promoting parties, and Chris Brown and Tyga was on tour. And I was like, well, we got an after party for the Chris Brown and Tyga, you know what I'm saying, tour. So I can't come till Monday. And he was like, just you? And I looked at Ed and Lambo and was like, can they come too? He was like, yeah. He went in the room, came back out. I got 3 emails, boop, 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 3 flights right there on the spot. And we went out and partied and got drunk, went to the strip club, and he played my song. I didn't even know how his DJ Chronic, shout out to DJ Chronic, that's still his DJ. I didn't know how his DJ got my song. I went to him to his show. We went to different clubs, and they was playing my song every club we went to. He had me perform it. Like, you would have thought we known each other for years. And that's how that happened. Yeah.